This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
This table is really tilted.
Excuse me? Am I gonna get a chance to speak?
Maybe I should take that back.
Denied. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Take a giant step for mankind.
Welcome to the Tilted Table with your hosts, Sean and Joe.
Folks, welcome to another episode of the Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I'm Sean Kabibi.
And I am Joey Joe, the Fraggy Mac.
And we're back for another round of random discussion about whatever the fuck.
Round 3. Fight.
I got something for you. You want to hear my story?
Let's
Who
do it.
doesn't? It's my podcast. You're going to hear it anyways.
Let's do it.
Okay, so my garage decided to conk out on me, right? The garage door opener. And what it was doing is I'd hit the button and it would run through the rotation, but it wouldn't lift the door. So of course, I go to YouTube and internet, like what's wrong with it? And I find out what's wrong with it, right? So I spend Saturday, I get the part and it's a gear thing and I just replace the gear. But in this process, I figure out how, the garage door opener actually is set up. So I learn how to actually, put one up, if I ever wanted to put one up. Well, lo and behold, my garage has 2 doors. And when I bought the place, of course, one had the garage door opener. The other one, the smaller door, doesn't. It has the brackets, and it used to have one clearly, but they took it all down for whatever reason. So I'm sitting there, and I fix, my garage door opener, and I look right across the damn room on the garage. And I'm like, you know what? I'm putting one up over there too. Let's do it. So I go to Amazon and I type in garage door openers, right? And of course it populates dozens of these things, right? Right.
Yeah, of course.
So, I click on one and I'm like, this looks pretty cool. And then on the right side where, you would add to cart, those dreaded red letters appear. Now, if you live in California, I know you've encountered this. In other states, you may not have. It says, we can't ship this item to your address.
For what reason?
Well, because California has certain laws.
Yes,
like right now, if you wanted to buy like an old school light bulb, those things are banned in California. You can't order them because they can't ship them to California. Same with fluorescent lights. That's the next thing. And it might actually be already in place where you can't get fluorescent lights. So, yeah, if your state bans some product for some reason, yeah, you'll get we can't ship it to your address. All right, so I'm going it's a fucking garage door opener. Like, why would it say that? So my assumption is that whatever plastic parts are in there, there's some kind of plastic part that has some kind of chemical that California's decided that they need to ban for whatever reason. I don't know, right? Who gives a fuck? There's only 24 of these goddamn garage door openers. Just pick another one. So I click on the next one. We can't ship this to California. What? Fuck are you talking about? Okay, maybe it's weird. But hey, people win the lottery. So maybe I clicked on 2 that have similar part or something, right? So click on another one. Yeah, we can't ship that to your address in California. Okay, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I go straight to Google and I type in, why are garage door openers banned in California? And I find out what's going on.
And?
So here's the deal. Senate bill, I think it's 969. I might be wrong on the number. Who gives a fuck, right? You're not allowed to sell a garage door opener in California if it does not have a backup battery. So these are the batteries that if your power goes out in your house, the battery would kick in, you would still be able to open up your garage door, right? So this seems very California. If you're from California, you get it. If you're not, you're probably screaming at your computer right now going like, what the fuck? Who would ban that? Or why would that be a requirement? Here's what happened. So there was these wildfires in 2017. 5 people died, and these 5 people either were in their garage or they were just outside of their garage. So they came to the conclusion that these people got trapped in their garages and they couldn't get out. Right? There's a wildfire. The first thing that usually goes down is the grid. So there is no power. So the people somehow got trapped in their house and I guess got stuck in their garage. and hitting that button to open up it didn't happen.
You pull the emergency release and force it up.
Okay, so look, we can get into this. I posted about this on social media.
Lay it on me, man.
Right. So so here's what I'm thinking when I read this. If there's any room in your house that's the closest to being outside, it's your garage. Every door in your garage, almost every door, with the exception of one that goes back into your house, actually leads directly outside. If you're upstairs, you open up any door upstairs, you're just going into another room. You're fucked. You ain't getting out. So why it's so important that you be able to open up a door in a garage, right? It was baffling to me. And I'm thinking, if you're stuck in your garage and your house is on fire and you can't get out and you're in your garage, you can't find a way outside, you probably didn't have a good chance of getting out in the first place, regardless of where you were. But so this is the deal. You're right. Yeah. You pull the lever, you lift the door. Well, some people may not have the physical strength to do that. And I was also informed by a friend of mine. She said that not all houses have garages that have side doors. She says that when she bought her first house in the 90s, the people that were building it, that was an extra cost if you wanted like a side door in your garage. Now, I've never lived in a house that didn't have one, so I thought that was just part of, I
didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. So maybe it is possible that like some people don't have doors and they get stuck in their garage and they can't open their garage door. But the other thing is I thought about this too. I was thinking like, okay, so let's assume you don't have any doors, any exits. You're too weak to pick up a door manually to get out. You have a fucking car in your garage. My ass, your fucking house is on fire. My ass would be hitting reverse. And I know, hey, I may not just plow through the entire door, but I know I'll get at least enough of it open where I can squeeze my scrawny ass out the side of it. So,
right.
So anyways, look, I know California does weird shit like this. And I think what bothered me most about it was, again, it just puts more of a burden on us as individuals, because now I have to buy a garage door opener that has a battery backup. And the ones that have battery backups also have every other fucking goddamn bell and whistle. They're Wi-Fi capable. They're like Siri level talk shit. You can like open up your garage door if you're in Taiwan somewhere. You can do it from that far away. It'll cook breakfast for you. It'll actually become your personal psychologist if you've got issues. And I don't need a robot. They're expensive, right? I need a machine that lifts the fucking door up. I don't need a goddamn robot in my garage. So yeah, it just now, unless I go buy it somewhere on the black market. Black market, that sounds so stupid, right? Facebook Marketplace, some used one, right? So yeah, I mean, as much as I'm sounding kind of like upset, I'm not really that upset. It just baffles me because I think, and I said this in my post, it's like, what about that homelessness shit that's going on? Did you fix that? Oh wait, it's gotten worse. Well, fucking A. Who cares? We solved the real problem: battery backups on garage door openers. So it's like my taxpayer dollars going to this kind of nonsense. It's just like, I mean, how many people? I'm trying to think the number of people that have been in this specific situation where it's a fire, and I'm not using wildfire. It might be a fire in your house. That's probably a lot more common than you being trapped in a wildfire, right? So I do understand the concept that like they're telling you to get the fuck out the neighborhood, and you packed up all your shit, and you go down to the garage, and your shit won't open because the power's out. Now what the fuck? I'm gotta leave. So I see like some situations. But overall, even with wildfires, how many people have been stuck in their garage and they're fucked? They can't get out and their house is on fire. Like, give me the number. Is it well? There's at least 5 that this law was based on, but they said that not all of them, but it was 5 people that were either in their garage or in the vicinity of their garage. So they got out, but they didn't survive. I don't know, right? 5 people, fucking 5 people, right? I walked down to the store down the street. I saw 10 homeless people, right? That's double 5, right? So anyways, that just baffles me, and don't want to turn this into a political discussion at all. It just seems insane to do stuff like this. Like, there's how many people have actually been in this situation? Is this an actual problem? And I'll give you an example. Like I said, I lean libertarian. I'm actually registered libertarian, but I will be the first to say that the Libertarian Party, they're fucking nuts, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm some kind of libertarian, like, oh yeah, libertarians. But I went to a libertarian conference once in Vegas.
Ooh.
And it was a political thing. There was a dude running for some Senate or something in Nevada, right? And this is the same scenario of just this hyper focusing on something that I don't think really matters. And I don't know why people don't think about this. Like, is this really a problem? Right? Like, why are you making a big deal out of something that I don't think it's really an actual problem that we can pinpoint that this actually happens? So this guy gets on stage, right? He starts yapping about how driver's licenses should be a right and driving should be a right, not a privilege, because generally in most American cities, you can't survive without a car, and the government has the power to take that away from you through driver's licenses, right? And then you start talking about like all kinds of crazy stuff about how the government can hold stuff over your head. Like, we want you to do A, B, and C, and if you don't do it, well, we won't allow you to get a driver's license, right? So he's saying this shit, and I'm sitting in the back going like, yeah. I'm like, I hear you. I'm hearing you on this. Yeah, I'm hearing you. And then he blurts out, that includes blind people. And I'm sitting there going like, nah, bro. Okay, you lost me. And of course, he sounds exactly like, I'm sure the audience is thinking it sounded like. He sounds like a fucking crazy moron. And why the Libertarian Party is where it's at. And why most people look at libertarians like they're fucking out of their minds because, yeah, they kind of are, right? Mm-hmm. So he's going on about blind people. And the first thought is like, I don't know who's running your campaign. Because if I was your campaign manager and you brought this up to me prior to you going out in public and opening your mouth and saying something as absolutely ludicrous and as insane as what you just said, I would have asked the question, why do you think blind people should have driver's licenses? Because is there like a cabal of blind people screaming for their right to have a fucking license? Like, is this a thing? Are blind people pissed off that, like, I got, my dark glasses and my stick and I can't see anything, and God, I want a fucking driver's license so I can drive? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's the same. I'm trying to use the same kind of logic. Like, I get it that some people obviously died in their garage during wildfires, but it was, do you think that this is such a huge problem that you went out of your way? Now it's going to cost me an extra $200 to get my hands on a fucking garage door opener because California won't allow you to ship one that doesn't have a battery backup. Like, go fuck yourself.
So dumb, man. It's kind of the same thing as...
now that's how you start a show. Fiery. Right into the politics.
Well, it was just a couple years ago when there was a lot of nonsense going on in California, whether it's fires or it's earthquakes or it's some type of a catastrophe or food shortage or COVID. I mean, you name anything.
Be careful, don't say the C word. We're
C word, yeah. YouTube's going to ban us off of this one.
I'll have to bleep that now. Maybe the algorithm won't catch it. Go ahead, Joe.
So I had this idea. Well, what if the water supply gets all messed up and we need to have drinking water? So I researched, like, what's the best water filtration system that you can buy that's portable, easy, and it was called the Berkey.
Okay.
And I thought, great, awesome. I'm going to jump on the Berkey website and I'm going to select and put in my credit card information. Here's my shipping information, and let me click. Why isn't it working? It keeps graying. Every time I click the button, it grays out the information that I just typed in. Lo and behold, you cannot import this water filter into the state of California. So I had to, as I'm super frustrated and pissed because I'm like, this is a water filter. Of all of the weird things going on in the world, those are the hills you decided to die on. But if you want clean water, you can't do that.
Why did they tell you? Figure out why?
It was some weird like charcoal filtration. It's going to affect the northern smelt above Redding or something.
Got it. Yeah.
Some nonsense. Yeah. And so I called my buddy up in a different state, and I said, hey,
get your hands on it.
You will be getting a shipment, and next time you come visit, please bring said shipment with you. And there's been a couple other things I've had to do like that.
Oh, yeah.
But the one that really, really grinds my gears, as Peter Griffin would say, is you can't buy gas-powered lawn equipment in the state of California.
Oh, did they ban that?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So if you go to like Lowe's or Home Depot,
it's all electric.
It's all electric.
Yeah.
And what's dumb is these battery packs that this stuff runs off of or I mean, they're like say a mower. Well, I have a DeWalt electric mower. It takes 2 of these battery packs. The battery packs were, when I bought them, they're $135 a piece.
Shit.
Battery packs don't last forever, right?
Yeah.
And then you need to get the charger. And then you probably want the fast charger. That's going to cost you extra. The number of times that I have been working on a project, and even though I've bought multiple batteries, it looks like I'm running a cell phone, like a hacker farm in my garage, the number of chargers and batteries that's on it. And I'm 90% done with the yard project, and I'm done. Apparently for the day, I'm just going to be, that little pile over there is not going to get handled because of my batteries. If I had gas power, that stuff would have been done in half the time, and I would be a happy camper.
Yeah.
And then when they say, but you're polluting, and then you like turn on the TV and you see all of these factories in China just are burning coal like there's no tomorrow. And you're like, dude, I needed to mow my tiny ass lawn and maybe make the edges nice and crisp.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We have now just broken our cardinal rule, right? We've gone 16 minutes talking about hot political topics.
Well, see, this is when you know, as you and I get older, hopefully a little bit wiser, those things that I would never pay attention to now just absolutely infuriate me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess to me, it's these are, first world problems. So I recognize that a lot of the stuff.
Clean water is a first world problem.
Well, no, I'm talking about you can't get that specific charcoal filtered one, so that's the first world problem. But I get it's irritating because I think, again, it goes back to the idea that is what that thing is that. I mean, I drive down, through Los Angeles and see smokestacks spewing all kinds of crazy shit into the air. But it's your fucking lawnmower that's destroying the environment. That kind of thing. It's the same with the plastic straws
or all the waterways that are crammed full of trash and debris.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
feces and everything.
Yeah,
else.
it's the same thing when they ban plastic bags. At grocery stores. It's like really that's where all the plastic's coming from. And I get the intent, and I'm not against the intent of trying to clean up the environment, but it's what they focus on. It goes back to the idea that how many people have died in a garage fire, right? It's how many blind people are fucking asking for driver's license. What are you people doing? So yeah, I totally get it. It's frustrating, and but I'll give you something similar, but it's not political. But it is the same idea.
Intriguing.
I've always wanted a butterfly knife, and they're illegal in California. You can't have a butterfly knife. Well, I take that back. You can own one, but you can't carry one, and you can't buy one. But you can have one. So I got one in my house. I'm fine. I just can't walk down the street like I'm, James Dean from Rebel Without a Cause, swinging it around with my pompadour and my, dark boots and motorcycle, right?
But what happens if the Jets and the Sharks show up?
But then you have to have it. You got to get your butterfly knife. I always wanted one, and they sell them in Nevada. So it's just when I go to Nevada, I'm going to see if I can get one. If I like one, I'm going to buy it, and I'm just going to mail it to myself. Figured that would be fine, right? I could get away with that. So I go to this knife shop, and I buy this really nice butterfly knife. And so I go to the post office, and I'm packaging the thing up. I'm going to ship it to myself. But the thing that's fucking threw me off was you have to have a return address. So while I can send it to myself, what's my fucking return address going to be? Myself? So I don't want to put that down. So I'm kind of freaking out, going what do I do? What do I put the return address? So I just get on my phone, and I just go on Google Maps, and I look up some random address in Nevada, and whatever it was, 3215, West Lane, Las Vegas, Nevada. And I just write John Smith and use that address. And I'm thinking, I hope this motherfucking thing gets to me, it doesn't get lost in the mail, and they return it to sender, because it's who's John Smith? Why does he live at my house? And why is there a butterfly knife in this goddamn box? The other thing was I don't know if it's legal. I didn't ask. I didn't want to know. And I'm thinking if it gets scanned through something of the
X-ray
post office,
machine.
yeah, and they're all of a sudden going some people showing up going hey, we're looking for John Smith. There's no John Smith that lives here. Why is my address on this box? Right. But it made it safely to my humble abode.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that kind of idea that, like, yeah, if it's banned, you can, go somewhere else and go get it. So to me, again, it's just, it's not that big of a deal, but it's just funny to me that, the stuff that they pick and choose to, ban or to restrict. And it's like, again, anybody that's ever been to California, you live in California, there's a lot of problems. And I don't see those problems getting addressed as heavy as some of the other very minor, weird things that they want us to do or they deny us access to. Like, okay, just makes your life a little bit harder. And, in your case, more expensive. All those batteries and all that shit's expensive.
Well, it's even, and we can definitely switch to something a lot more entertaining. But
yeah, we're at 20 minutes, so this is where we want to switch off into some other topic.
But it's kind of funny. Like my parents live down in Arizona, and I went to visit a couple months ago. And the roads were amazing. You cross the border from California into Arizona, and as you're driving down the California freeway, your car's like da 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 da. It's like your molars are getting jarred loose. As soon as you cross over into Arizona, it's like perfect roads. I'm not trying to dodge potholes like I'm in like the apocalypse and Mad Max is chasing after me. It's like I've entered civilized society. I don't see how we can't replicate that here when our taxes are so high.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother bag of tricks that could go on for many years, many podcasts where we could talk about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Leave a like on the video. I know you're enjoying this. Can you shut up?
The internet's answer to a question that was never asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
But it reminds me of a business idea I once had when I was stoned out of my fucking mind. And it was during the time when gas prices were just getting out of control in the state. Like they aren't always, but when it was getting to a point where people were really starting to talk about, like, Jesus Christ, we pay a lot of money for a fucking gallon of gas.
Wasn't it like just 3 years ago, it was like $9 a gallon?
Well, that's a good question to ask you. What's the most expensive you've ever seen in California? I can tell you mine and where I was.
I want to say it was $9, and it happened twice. It was down in Big Sur, which that one I totally get.
Yeah, anywhere in any of those remote areas.
It's on the cliffs on the Pacific Ocean. I don't even know how you get a truck there. That makes sense to me. San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco was mine too, and I think it was $8.30 a gallon. And I was like, Jesus Christ! But I know, like, if you go up to like I remember when I was snowboarding, and this was a long time ago. So I was snowboarding. I think I stopped snowboarding like 2008ish, 9ish, somewhere in there. But you go up to those resorts, and it's the only gas station anywhere. And if you don't have enough gas to get down the mountain, you're paying whatever it is they fucking charging you. And I remember that was like $6-7 a gallon. And that was like 2008, 2009-ish. So it's like, yeah, I can imagine what those are now. Jesus Christ. I'm sure you can look it up on the internet. But I remember getting stoned, and this is, again, a long time ago, because it's been at least 25 years since I got high. Me and my friends were talking about the gas prices, and I said, the greatest business idea would be the states that border California. Like, what is the biggest city along that border, right? And I know it's not going to be a big city. It's not going to be, hundreds of thousands of people, but let's say it's 30,000 people, or, whatever that city is open up a gas station, like in the other state, just right next to that city. You would make a killing. It's like, it's what, $6 over here. Well, I'm in Nevada, I'm in Arizona, wherever I'm at. It was like, I got it for $2.50 a gallon. Fuck, dude, line of people every day.
Sure. Just a couple months ago, like I said, when I was down in Arizona, it had a 1 in front of it. I was like, what is this? Hello, 1989? Gas is $1.97 a gallon? This is insane.
Did I drive in through a freaking time portal?
I feel like I just need to drive around randomly watching my needle go down so I can put more fuel in the tank.
More cheap gas. I wonder, this would be an interesting thing to find out. California has to be aware of this to a certain degree. I wonder what the closest gas station, whether it's Arizona or Nevada, the closest gas station to the border of California. It can't be that close, because they would have to be aware that, like, anyone would open a gas station that was in reasonable distance that no gas station in that town or whatever town it's close to would ever get any business. They'd go under. So it'd have to be far enough away that people are like, well, if I drove over into Nevada, I could get cheaper gas, but it's 25, 30 miles away. I'd like to know the nearest gas station to the border of California. And I bet you it's pretty far away. It's got to be.
Well, speaking of gas stations, one of the things that I'm really sad about, it's one of those things. You and I are both on the internet right now. I could probably look it up, but
it's more fun this way.
We
are the fountain of misinformation. This is beautiful.
Just ultimate freestyle.
I mean, if we actually had knowledge, it would be boring.
Yeah, I mean, there's 1,000 podcasts for people that actually know things.
Yeah, we're the one that doesn't.
We just like to shoot our mouths off about random things.
That's our angle.
One of my small joys in life, though, for a number of years, is there on the Highway 99 at the Mountain View exit. There was a VP Racing fuel at the pump.
Okay.
So you could get 99 octane or 100 octane at the pump.
Oh, shit, really?
It was outstanding, man. Everyone, it wouldn't do it very often, but I mean, I would say that was $9 a gallon. But even though it took, 25, 30 minutes to drive there, I would literally just drive all the way to fill up with 100 octane and then just drive home.
But what does that do for
you can tell. I mean, if you're driving a cool car that's all dialed in and has different ECU maps and you know what your timing adjustments, like all that kind of stuff, it's basically like taking a long rip off the world's greatest crack rock.
All right. Well, I'm not going to say that I know exactly what it's like to smoke crack, but I've done enough drugs to kind of get the idea. Got it.
All of a sudden you find like, oh, my throttle response is way snappier than it was before.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like, did I just pick up some butt horsepower? Like, I don't know if it's measurable or not, but my car feels like it's performing so much better right now.
So is that
it's
gas?
It's gone.
Well,
it's gone.
The gasoline itself, it's like 99 octane. Is it designed because they have the raceway up there and people have race cars?
No, that's a great question. So
or is it designed for like Ferraris and Lamborghinis, like people like that?
It's designed for people that are looking for more horsepower and all of those super small fine adjustments.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you would think that you would find.
So they do market this to like a general audience. Like you can just put it in your car. It's just great gas.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just you do want to spend $9 a gallon, right? And so the cars that you might see at that pump would always be something pretty darn cool.
And you might have the answer. You know cars better than I do. If you have a car like a Ferrari or a McLaren or a Lamborghini, I mean, obviously you're putting at least 91 in it, whatever you can get at a regular gas station. But are you supposed to put? Yeah, you have to. But are those cars designed to take higher? Should you be putting higher octane in those cars?
So like the barrier is like when you go into ethanol. That's a whole different ball of wax.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But so I totally miss going to the Mountain View exit. And just 2 nights ago we were driving down to the South Valley to have dinner with some friends and cooking on the freeway, and I was like, oh, and I point through the windshield, there's my VP Racing fuel spot. Thank you, California, for knocking that out of my life.
What? We're not going back to that. They banned it or something?
I don't know what it is.
It's just probably when I think it's gone and just now we're so jaded right now by California. It's like, yeah, they took that away too.
Take it away. Mm-hmm.
It's just some business that went under. I mean, is there any place around here you can even get that stuff?
You can. There's a place downtown Fresno that sells it out of a pail.
Wait.
So not like a water pail. It's like the actual container that you would put like in motorcycles or something.
Right.
Like
why do they have it like that?
I don't know if that's the way you transport super ultra flammable stuff. It's like going to the counter and asking, "I'll have 3 napalms today."
Well, it just seems weird to me because it's super high end gasoline, but they're selling it to you like it's like why don't they just pour it into a Chinese takeout container? Here. Seems like they would have that in a pump ready to go. Like if I'm paying that kind of money, I'm getting that kind of octane.
Or like
I'd like to actually have a pump, not some guy selling it to me in a back alley in a jug.
Or like in some Baccarat crystal or something. Or like chop the head off a Yadro and pour it out of that. It's the small joys in life, man. Small joys.
I've never experienced any of this kind of stuff. I don't know nothing about no 99 octane. And when I bought my car, I have an Infiniti. And, I've owned 5 cars? No, not 5. Let's see. I had a 83 Celica, and then I got a 1990 Eclipse. Then I got a 2000 Mercury Cougar, and then a 2007 Eclipse. So this is my 5th car. And so I don't buy cars unless I have to, really. Well, I guess there's some exceptions to that. But nonetheless, I go out shopping for a new car after, my 2007 Eclipse. And I had that car for 13 years. So I'd been off the market for a long time. I had no idea what I wanted. I had no clue what I was looking for. So I went on to, I think it was like Carvana, because they have like make and model of every car in existence. Right. So I just wanted to I started Alfa Romeo, whatever the first one was, click on it and like, oh, okay. And then I look at some of the prices going like, oh, that's out of my price. Right? So I'm literally going down every brand and every make and model and writing down on a piece of paper like, oh, this is like car I might dig, right? And kind of stockpiling that list. So I create this list and I start to sort of weed it down to a couple cars that I'm really like. And then that's when I actually start doing some shopping, right? So I end up getting an Infiniti Q60. And so, again, I know shit about the cars, right? I know what Infiniti is because I know what a Lexus is or is Acura, right? The slightly higher end of a Toyota, a Nissan, or a Honda or whatever, right? So I understand that. So I start calling Infiniti and I like CarMax and all these places, and I find an absolutely fucking amazing deal on a 2007. Keep in mind, this car's 3 years old when I buy it. 2020 is when I bought it. 2017 Infiniti Q60, 12,000 miles. It was leased, turned back in. They couldn't sell the damn thing, which doesn't surprise me. Have you ever seen a Q60? It's a two-door car. Two-door cars, they got to be the most unpopular car. Who's buying this, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm in. And it was $30,000 out the door for a car that only had 12,000 miles on it. And it looked basically brand new, right? So I think the Q60s brand new are like, I don't know, like 50, 60,000 or something. So it's about half of, So I think I'm getting a pretty good deal on this thing. But again, I know nothing about it. And I, get it home and I open up the manual and it's like, do not use anything less than 91 gasoline. And I'm cheap enough to, I'm like, shit, I would have known that. I would have thought twice about this damn car. Now I'm stuck having to buy 91. It's not cheap. But everything else on that car is expensive. And I'm like, I know it's Infiniti, but this is kind of a coupe. Like this is not like a luxury car, but it is. It's actually termed as near luxury. But apparently I have to pay the luxury price. And I've replaced some parts on that thing. Oh, shit. I thought I was getting ripped off. I went to Infiniti when my headlight went out, right? And I'm like, I need a new headlight. And it was like, all right, cool. And he quotes me $2,000
for one headlight
to replace the fucking headlight. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, nah, man, that's how much it cost, right? And I'm like, I get it. I know it's going to be a little more expensive because it's, a slightly higher grade of Nissan or whatever. I thought the dude was trying to rip me off. And this is the dealership, right? So I'm just like, oh, yeah, man, I'll have to think about that. I had to figure that out. So I go out thinking like, I'll fucking replace it myself. It's just a unit. You pop it out and pop the new unit in. And I'm like, this dude's definitely trying to jack up his price and rip me off or whatever. And I usually don't think that way. I really thought like, in what fucking world can you justify $2,000 for a fucking headlight, right? So I go straight to like eBay to look up, headlights. Headlights were $1,700 just for the part. And I'm like, he wasn't lying about that, was he? Call the guy up. I'm like, I'll bring my car in tomorrow. I'll replace the fucking headlight.
It was that easy?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't going to do it myself, so.
It's always something, man. That's why
it's outrageous.
Going back to the DB Cooper story and having $250,000, it doesn't feel or it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but back then when a house cost $10,000, $250,000, that was some scratch.
Yeah, I remember looking up once what the value was. It was like, I don't know, something like $2.5 million in today's money or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's, the high octane gas and all that kind of stuff. I think it's kind of cool, whatever. But yeah, I guess it's weird. I think that some people, I guess it's a personality thing. Like certain things don't bother me, but always be that smallest thing that is really it's insignificant that sets me off. And that would be like the 91 it took about a month for me to get past that. Like every time I pulled in, it's like gas is so goddamn expensive to begin with, right? And you just pull in, and it's just like, fuck, man, I gotta go do 91. You know, I'm sitting there. Eventually, I got over it though.
Are you the person that also knows brands of gasoline? Like, I only put Chevron.
No, I don't play that game. It's stupid.
So you'll roll up to like a off-brand type gas.
Well, I mean, like Arco or I don't know, but you know, I know that Chevron and like 76. There's the higher end. I don't really. Well, first of all, like I guess gas is better, and I know somebody who's a gearhead would tell me it is. But I have a 2017 Infiniti Q60. It's not a classic. I'm going to drive it until it has too many problems, and I'm going to get rid of it and buy a new one. So I'm not really caring if, you would have gotten another 20,000 miles out of that car if you would have, used Chevron instead of that Arco shit. Nah. Couldn't care less.
See, I would not say I'm a fuel connoisseur by any means, but there's certain places I do stay away from. But it's just and again, not to sound super grumpy old man here, but the price of Chevron when you're looking down the street at the next gas station and you're like, it's $1 difference? Come on, man.
Right, yeah. Again, I'm sure a gearhead will tell you that, well, I mean, Chevron will tell you it's got Techron. It's got to be better. If you throw out words like Techron.
I was going to say, it sounds fancy.
It does sound fancy, but it's just gas. But people, I mean, obviously people use it or they go out of business.
Well, and their stations are always typically the nicest ones.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it might be another sell for people. Because, you get in the hood and you get that, quick and easy
or
convenience store, and it's like you're filling up and you're looking over your shoulder going like, I want to get fucking killed.
Exactly. Or what was the other terrible one? Beacon?
Yeah, Beacon, right?
That
just
was
all of them are in the hood.
That's the one where you'd have to have
it's like save $20
or get shanked.
Or get shanked.
With like a rusty knife and a toothbrush.
And it is true because if you go to I've gone to so many low budget gas stations, like I don't care about the hood. I mean, shit and grip around all that kind of bullshit. But yeah, you inevitably, when you pull in and there's just people there. Sometimes some fuckers will hang out like right in front of. They don't give a shit.
Oh yeah,
it's always mostly peripheral.
It's called loitering.
Yeah, and you can kind of see them. Like you pull in. And it's like you didn't really see them pulling in. You kind of saw people around, but it's just people around. And then right when you pull in and you're just about to stop, and you can see it in your rear view or out your front window, and you just see the dude cruising, walking beeline right, and you're like, fuck, is this guy gonna ask me some shit and want some money? Got it. And inevitably you got your car. And it's like, hey man, let's go on. I wonder if you could help me out. I don't know, man. See this car? You see 91 octane? You think I have any fucking money? I'll be lucky to get this tank half fucking full. Sorry, bro. I bought the wrong car. Now, if I was filling it with 88, I could give you $1, but I don't give a fuck.
I'm leaving here to go down the strip mall to the Payday loans. Growing up back in the 80s when ATVs first came out, do you remember the tricycle versions with the big old balloon tires?
Yeah, no. My neighbors had those.
Did they die?
What, the guys that rode those bikes? No, they're still alive today, I think. I didn't know if you were talking about the ATVs. They die, like, do they go? Were they poorly made?
No, because that was the thing is on the tricycle versions of that, like when you go around a corner because it was so unstable,
it would just tip over.
Yep, it would tip over, and there were so many injuries that it was like, nope. That's why there's the 4-wheel quads.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, my neighbors Corey and Ryan, they were the same age as us. And we had this huge. It was weird. They lived like 5 or 6 houses down from us, but it was kind of in the country. So it was everybody had acreage behind their house, and there were these dirt roads that connected all the houses along the street. So they would ride their ATVs out, and then eventually they would get on our property on our dirt roads and ride them around. So that's how we met them. And I remember riding one. I remember kids being really fascinated with them because they were fun to ride.
Yeah.
And I don't recall thinking it was all that great. And I think partly, I'm going by memories, I used to like to get on my bicycle and go ride with my friends. We'd ride all over fucking town. We'd go a bunch of different places. Those things, once you kind of fucked around behind the house and dirt roads, and it got boring. Like, well, I want to get on my bike and go somewhere. I don't want to ride these goddamn ATVs in the dirt all day long. And back then, you couldn't take shit like that out on the road. Like
No.
today, I see fuckers riding these electric bikes, and no one seems to really care. Back then, if you took anything like that out on a road, you were immediately going to get pulled over by a cop.
Correctamundo.
Yeah.
Yep. I still remember having. Do you know what a John Deere Gator is?
I've heard of it. Remind me.
So this is like the golf cart on steroids. That was the off-road version.
Oh, okay.
But this was so early, or early 90s, like 1993-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But the Gators, it was like the tricycle version of the off-road or of the ATV, where it was just one single wheel in the middle.
Oh, okay,
And, and I remember going around a corner really fast at a friend's house, and then going so fast that the Gator like leaned forward and I took out a fence post. The fence post went straight through the plastic, and at 13 years old, that was the biggest expense I'd ever had, because the parents were like, "Hey Joe, you messed this up.
Right.
We need you to pay for it." Which was right. That
yeah.
was my stupidity.
Yeah. Well, those are the parents of Gen Xers. We broke shit. They fucking like, what's your allowance? Yeah, you ain't gonna see any actual allowance for the next 2 years until you pay that off.
Yeah. That's exactly how it went down. I had a conversation. My parents were mad. They were just like, "That's where all your money's going now."
Yeah.
But see, here it is. 30 something years later, we're talking about the Gator.
Yeah.
And I guess my last question is: did you ever put Chevron Techron in your ATV to make it go faster?
I don't know what they used. It probably wasn't Chevron, but Techron.
It was like some 2-stroke oil that smoked like a burnt crack pipe.
I have an important announcement for you, so stay tuned.
Yo, that's some next level shit, bruh.
So you got me. Big deal.
The internet's answer to a question no one asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
Folks, thank you for joining us for another episode of The Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I'm Sean Kabibi.
And I am Joey Joe with a Fracky Mac.
And I think I'm going to just hire someone to lift up my garage for the next, 10, 15, 20 years.
You to hire him on Fiverr?
Yeah. I would get him cheap if I did that.
That's a fact. Peace.